Hello! Today, we'll be analyzing every DISVENTURE Camp All-Stars strategies from episode 1-6. Keep in mind that bad strategy is not equivalent to bad writing. So anyways, let's begin. We'll begin with the first elimination ceremony, where Jake eliminated James. Although Jake had no strategic intentions, voting out James was a great decision. If Fiore left first, James and Huntley would have picked off Jake and Ashley. Ashley siding with Jake was also very smart, as not only does she make a loyal friend, but she also sustains a relationship that could get her through the game. Additionally, they now have Fiore wrapped around their finger and give power in the team. Next is Alec planting the seed of the possible relationship between Tom and Aiden in Jake's head. I'd say this is a decent move, although I'm unsure of Alec's intentions in doing this. If it was to save his daughter from elimination, then it was a great move. But for his game overall, it could potentially benefit him in the future, as he could use it as a way to manipulate Jake, or it could also backfire on him. Honestly, I think Miriam and Alec sabotaging Cyan to help Magenta is a decent move. Both of their closest allies are on that team, and saving them a few more days could have helped them out in the long run, as if they reached merge, they could easily side with them. Doing this also gains Fiore's trust, which I'm not sure is a good thing, but I wouldn't say they wouldn't benefit from it in the future. Before talking about the elimination, let's talk about the girls' alliance and how each person in said alliance benefits from it. Firstly, Ellie. Although Lake is a poor alliance member, as she constantly puts morals over strategy, Ellie would gain a lot from this alliance. Not only would they have numbers, but they could have also taken out Tom, a huge physical threat, and Aiden, a social threat. Same applies to Gabby and Tess. Now Lake. People tend to call Lake stupid for agreeing to the alliance, as she most likely would have had to vote for Aiden, who she was very against voting for, eventually. However, that is not the case. If not for Ellie being smart enough to look ahead, this would have worked in Lake's favor, as getting out Tom, which was who she was initially wanting out, would have benefited her tremendously. It would have also made it so Aiden would have to vote with her. She'd also have Tess, which would make her be in the power position. As stated before, Lake would have lots of power, and Ellie wanting her out to prevent that is very smart. However, throwing Lake under the bus like she did was arguably not the best choice. In my opinion, Ellie could have executed her plan better. Yes, her reason for wanting Lake out immediately is valid, but the way she executed it during the elimination puts a target on her back. Not only does it make her team view her as untrustworthy, but no one would want to work with her if she's willing to throw her own teammate under the bus. A better way of executing it would be for her, Gabby, and Tess to vote for Aiden, and allow Lake to vote for Tom, just like she wanted. This would eliminate Lake's closest ally, and Ellie could use the fact Lake voted for Tom against her and eliminate her next. This way, Ellie would have been in a better position than she is right now. Tom would either have to side with her and Gabby, or force a tie and side with Tess. It's still a risky move. It's better than having her fate lie in Tess's hands. Not a dumb move per se, but there was a better way of executing it. If he voted for Ellie instead, he would be next on the chopping block and would be severely outnumbered by Tess, Aiden, and Lake. Arguably, Aiden developed a relationship with Tom, but he'd most likely rather vote him out over Lake. In conclusion, smart move. Now with Tess throwing her vote on Tom, I'm a bit iffy on this decision, as it was done as a quote-unquote strategic decision to not make Ellie angry at her. However, her not voting with Ellie won't make her trust her anymore. Ellie even admitted in episode 4, Sandbag Sabotage, that she no longer trusts Tess. She should have forced a tiebreaker. If Lake loses, she's the swing vote and possesses the most power. If Lake wins, she'd automatically be in the power alliance. Her throwing her vote on Tom was pointless. Let me just say that the villains' alliance was not the best strategic play. Alec aligning himself with Yul and Riya, who are untrustworthy, is not a great move in hindsight. But what's worse was branching out to Ellie and Fiore. He got betrayed by Fiore and betrayed Ellie. Why would he try to ally with them? It's not like he was on the chopping block either. On top of that, Fiore and Ellie didn't even seem amused by the idea, rather, skeptical. This makes them even less trustworthy. This was apparently him quote-unquote preparing for the merge, but he should focus on reaching the merge first. And how does Ellie and Fiore contribute to him reaching the merge? Absolutely nothing. Did he not consider the fact the both of them could possibly develop relationships on their own team? This could make them a wild card. The cross-team alliance does not benefit Alec in any way. Rather, it puts a heavy burden on trying to control many notorious figures in the series and attempting to please Fiore and Ellie so they can trust him, both of which are very difficult and complicates his game. So my opinion on the alliance is for Alec's game, it should have stayed within his team. Maybe even just align himself with Connor and Riya instead, as Connor is way more trustworthy than everyone in his alliance combined, and he'd benefit from getting rid of what appears to be a tight couple. Now, I am very iffy on Alec throwing the challenge. The only reason Miriam revealed everything was because it was her only hope of staying longer in the game. If Alec didn't very obviously throw the challenge, she most likely would have stayed quiet for a bit longer, which would have given Alec the opportunity to tell his alliance, specifically Gret, Yul and Riya, about Miriam finding out, which would have avoided multiple misunderstandings and fully convinced them to vote out Miriam. Miriam was severely outnumbered and was on the chopping block due to being a physical liability, and a prior winner, she would have been eliminated sooner or later anyway. It was unnecessary to throw the challenge. Additionally, Alec very obviously throwing the challenge tells his team how much he would do for his alliance, to the point where he'll send his own team to tribal council, which could potentially make his team view him as a wild card, which would not be good for him at all. Hate to say it, but Yul was actually very smart in this situation by choosing to side with Alec over Miriam. It's not like he trusts Alec, it was just better for his game, as Yul said. He was on the chopping block, and eliminating Alec would make him and Gret outnumbered by Miriam and Connor, and Riya most likely would side with those two. And even if she didn't, keeping Alec makes it so he is guaranteed to stay longer. Even if he didn't trust Alec, he would at least have the numbers on his side. Riya throwing her vote on Yul was smart. Contrary to Tess, this actually benefits Riya. Half the problem was her own fault. It was still a good move regardless. Riya had a target on her back due to her abrasive and arrogant personality, and voting Yul drew attention away from her. Although harsh, a great move to use Connor as a meat shield, and it decreases her chances of being voted out. Eliminating Hunter avoids a tiebreaker, as the possibility of Jake and Ashley losing against one of them in a tiebreaker would put the other at the bottom of the totem pole. And even at the small chance Eli and Fiore team up, Jake and Ashley could vote for Fiore and guarantee them a win, as the chance of Fiore winning a tiebreaker is very minuscule. Ashley and Jake eliminating Hunter gives the both of them power over the votes, and it ensures they reach the merge. Additionally, Hunter would dominate the merge. He literally won almost every immunity on his season, even if it was mostly just luck. Best to get him out as soon as possible. Ashley and Jake are fine in challenges. It's not like they need Hunter to win challenges. Dude can't even ride a bike properly. Plus, they could always vote out Fiore if they wanted to, now that they have the power. This was not a smart move for Alec. Due to Alec putting so much faith in the villains alliance, he sacrifices the opportunity to have power over his team for the sake of it. Not only did Alec vote out a very loyal ally, he also gave Yul and Gret power over the votes on a silver platter. At least someone benefited from this. And a reminder that no one besides Emily, Yul, and Gret knows about how toxic Yul and Gret are, so unless something happens, I doubt Alec would even attempt to exploit their relationship like he did with Tom and Jake. Also, if he even attempted to do that, that'd cause rifts in his beloved alliance. You could say Yul would most likely choose to keep Alec over Riya if Yellow loses again. However, Riya could potentially manipulate Gret and Yul into keeping her over Alec by stating the following points. Alec is a bigger threat than her, socially and physically, and has connections with people on the other team. Riya has a better argument than Alec could have. Yul is petty, but he's not stupid. Surprisingly, he's made a fair amount of strategic decisions in the past. In addition to this statement, Gret has experience with being betrayed by Alec. I wouldn't be shocked if this makes Yul and Gret question whether they should keep Alec or not. Although the chances are small, it's still a possibility Alec should have considered before voting out Connor and giving the power of the vote to Yul and Gret, because if Alec had that power instead, it would have guaranteed him to reach the merge. Thus, it wasn't a good choice to eliminate a loyal ally to sustain an unstable alliance. To summarize my thoughts, the strategies so far are great, and it's amazing to see strategy being applied to the game, whether it's horrible strategy or not. I'm loving this season so far. For the record, I do not hate Alec, he's literally one of the highest on my tier list. However, he is definitely not the smartest. Have a nice day, and thank you for watching.